What is going on, Jerome's? With the Super Bowl dead and gone, dead and gone, it's time for mock draft season, and one of my favorites is Chad Reuter of NFL.com. Now, he doesn't get as much herald and praise as Daniel Jeremiah or Bucky Brooks, but, I mean, those guys obviously deserve all the plaudits. They do the damn work, and I love them, but Chad Reuter is just a grinder, man. Like, I feel like he puts out a 3 or 7 round mock draft every other day. I respect it. So he did his inaugural 3-round mock draft 1.0. The Vikings have first round number 23 overall, as well as third round number 87. So the Vikings have 2 selections, and let's get into where the Vikings go. And also, I like that he includes trades. I know it's a little bit early to project trades, but he's just like, F it, man. Texas is coming up with the Bears. Colts moving up to 2, so quarterbacks go 1-2. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. I think that those are 2 perfect spots for them. It's neat that they're both in division, so they're going to be squaring off twice a year. But Bryce Young, DeMeco Ryans gets his future franchise quarterback, and I mean, there's going to be questions about Young's size and durability, but I think that he sees the field well. I think he's a great leader. I think that he has a fantastic arm. I think that he's going to be a star in the National Football League. C.J. Stroud. So there was some question marks around Stroud. I think that his game does need a little bit of polish, but the way that he played in the bowl game has just opened up a lot of eyes, and I think Stroud is going to be a very solid professional quarterback. So 3, got the Cardinals. Cardinals are in the catbird seat, so they're either going to get Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. So they're just sitting there chilling. The Bears trade down from 4, so they get some extra draft picks, and they get Will Anderson, which, I mean, I feel like the Bears need so many pieces that they can't really hone in on, well, we need Carter or we need Anderson. But if they only move down to 4, they're probably going to get one of the 2. So I think it worked out as a win-win for the crooked Chicago Bears. Will Levis at 5, so the Panthers move up with Seattle to get number 5. So Frank Reich gets his quarterback of the future. I think Levis, he's going to be polarizing. He's got great arm strength, got great size and athleticism, but I mean there are some consistency issues, but also his 2021 was better than his 2022, but I think that may just be a talent issue around him at Kentucky. But I mean, Levis is super interesting, especially seeing Josh Allen pan out in the NFL. I mean, I think Levis is a bit of a diet version of that. 6, the Lions stick and pick the cornerback 1 in this class, Christian Gonzalez, coming out of Oregon. Kind of sucks because now their defense is actually going to get fixed. Paris Johnson goes to the Raiders at 7, so why not? And if they do sign, if they are able to trade for Rodgers or whatever, they do need to get him some protection. So Johnson opposite of Colton Miller does make some sense there. Myles Murphy coming off the edge for the Falcons. Yes. Tyree Wilson. I mean, it's a really good edge class. Super deep. 10, the Eagles going Bijan Robinson. Now, the Eagles with the extra first-round pick from the Saints, I mean, this is a luxury pick. And with Miles Sanders potentially leaving in free agency, this makes all the sense in the world and makes that Eagles offense even more dangerous. So that sucks. Also, I think if Bijan doesn't go 10 to the Eagles, I think that he could have a draft day slide. Kincaid to the Titans. Cansey to the Texans. Now, you would think that it would be a double down getting Bryce Young some protection or some weapons, but I actually like this since DeMeco Ryans obviously the defensive guy, and Cansey I think that he's super toolsy, and this is not like a diet aired down situation just because it's Pitt, but he's super disruptive and a playmaker. Anthony Richardson to the Jets. I actually really love this. Where Richardson has all the upside in the world. I think it would make sense for if the Jets signed a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo or maybe not Derek Carr, but someone who can watch the shop for a couple seasons while Richardson gets broken down and rebuilt. But I think Richardson, if he reaches his potential with that defense with Rob Salah and also those weapons around him, super intriguing. Broderick James to the Patriots. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Packers. Oh, look, they finally got Jordan Love some weapons. Awesome. Skoronski, Van Ness, Michael Mayer. So the Lions get Gonzalez and Michael Mayer. That's really good gets. So Mayer basically comes in and de facto replaces Hawkinson. That's a pretty good haul for Brad Holmes. Finishing out the Matthew Stafford picks. See Brian Branch. super toolsy. So he's listed as a corner here, but he's a safety. He's a slot. He's everything. So Brian Branch with Antoine Winfield Jr. working together on the back end of that defense. Fantastic. Addison to the Bills, where I know that Gabe Davis stepped up, but Stephon Diggs needs a number 2. Addison working from the slot basically is a huge upgrade over Beasley. And also an upgrade over Isaiah McKenzie. So I like this one here. Joey Porter Jr., I like this one. So they're going to have the junior cornerback room. All right, so they're Asante Samuel Jr. and Joey Porter Jr. That's really awesome, man. Witherspoon, fortunately off the board going to the Giants. That's a great get for them. So the Vikings in a spot where a lot of the cornerbacks are plucked off the board. Also Addison is gone. So they're going in a different direction. Now, Cam Smith has been mocked to the Vikings in every single mock draft in the history of mankind. But whatever. But Keon White is intriguing here because he's a name that hasn't really been brought up. He's seen as like a borderline first, second round pick. Betting all on potential. Georgia Tech senior, formerly at Old Dominion, 6'4", 267, a freak athlete, great length, but super raw. Has only played defense for 4 seasons, 7.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss last year for the Yellow Jackets, and he does have some Ziggy Ansah vibes, just in terms of his body composition, in terms of his length, as well as certainly his rawness on the defensive side of the ball. But it's a spot where the Vikings could go white, even if they do bring back Zadarius Smith and extend Danielle Hunter, just because it's a passer and get the passer league. And you saw how a pass rush is the ultimate equalizer. So I think that White could come in as also a bit of an Aldon Smith on the field skill set, where he could come in as a situational pass rusher, where he's not the starter. He's operating behind Zadarius, operating behind Danielle, and maybe even PJ2 and Wanham, but White still ends up with 6-7 sacks as a guy who plays 200 snaps as a rookie, somewhere in there. Smith to the Jaguars, yes. Jalen Hyatt to the Ravens. Hey, Lamar finally got some weapons. Simpson to the Cowboys. Oh, I like that. I like that. Like Trenton Simpson holding down the fort while Micah Parsons does Micah Parsons things. That's fantastic. So Torrance to the Seahawks. Yes. Mouch goes the Bengals. I love it. Racking up and stacking up that offensive line. Tuli Hickman, Rashee Rice to the Bears. So they're looking for anything. Like they tried to trade for Chase Claypool. It hasn't worked out. I do think that Rice, even though he had sort of a whatever Senior Bowl, has a chance to be a stud for the Bears. So overall, I mean that's a pretty good get for Chicago. Ika goes to the Steelers. That's a perfect fit, man. Musgrave goes to the Texans. He's going to be a security blanket for Bryce Young. Darnell Wright, Nolan Smith, Tyreek Stevenson to the Seahawks. Speaking of like lengthy physical freak cornerbacks, so Stevenson and Woolen, and then also got Kobe Bryant working in there, probably in the slot. That's great, man. Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm guessing Reuters projecting that Josh Jacobs leaves the free agency, so just replace him with another Bama running back. Certainly different type of runner, but it's funny. Flowers goes to the Saints. I hate that. McDonald goes to the Tennessee Titans. JMS goes to the Jets at the top of the second round. I think that's probably his neighborhood. So if the Vikings do want to go get him, I mean, I would be fine if they took him at 23. But potentially trading down into the top of the second and getting some more draft capital, I think makes a lot of sense. Antonio Johnson, the Packers, I hate that one. Because Johnson's a great versatile player, so it sucks that he's going to Green Bay. Quentin Johnston ends up on the board for the Patriots at 46. Super intriguing. Noah Sewell. Penny and Noah Sewell, the bros are reunited in Detroit. That'd be a super fun storyline, man. Phillips, I mean, Dean leaves for agency, maybe. Hendon Hooker, second round to the Seahawks. The Seahawks killed this draft, man. That's fantastic. Bruzzy. So we've seen Bruzzy all over the place. Like some places he's a top 10 pick. Some places he's in the top of the second round here. Zach Charbonnet going to the Lions. All right, so they're probably going to lose DeAndre Swift's whatever, but they're probably going to lose Jamal Williams in free agency, maybe. But man, that's a great get. So the Seahawks and the Lions are just absolutely destroying this draft, man. I love it. Actually, I hate it, but I also love it. Keeley. The Eagles getting Keeley at the bottom of the second. Come on, man. Come on. Also, Ujulari paired up with Brian Burns in Carolina. Let's go. Third round. All right, so Byron Young, Voorhees goes to the Broncos. They're probably going to lose Dalton Risner in free agency. Derek Hall, I like. Tajay Spears to the Saints. Oh, so they're replacing Kamara with the local kid who's kind of like Kamara. Kind of like that. Like that. Riley Moss to the Patriots. The Patriots taking Riley Moss. Shocker. Andre Carter. So some people see Andre Carter as a first-round pick. I've always been kind of skeptical, but I think getting him in the third, him and Jalen Phillips and company down in South Beach, working with Fangio, that makes sense. Tanner McKee. Oh, Lions getting their potential future franchise quarterback in the third round. I like it. Carl Brooks, small school dude who's really tore things up. I love it. Sucks that the Vikings didn't have a shot at him. Whatever. Foskey, super toolsy edge rusher, but also since the Vikings have Keon White, sort of moot, but that would have been super fun. But 87 Vikings go Caillou Blue Kelly. He's a guy that I like a lot. I think that I'm a little bit higher on him versus other people. I think specifically for what Brian Flores wants to do, he wants tough, long, physical, man-to-man coverage specialists, and that's exactly what Caillou Blue Kelly is. Stanford senior, so he's got a good head on his shoulders as well. 6'1", $190, son of Brian Kelly, who was a stud cornerback for the Buccaneers back in the day for a number of seasons. And he is a physical press man specialist. He's tailor-made for what Brian Flores wants to do on defense. And again, specifically for what the Vikings are looking for, I would put Kelly in the top 5 in terms of cornerbacks, because I think that he is behind Gonzalez and Porter. I think it's like Gonzalez, Porter, and then like Cam Smith, Keeley, and Caillou. I would put them in about that strata. Forbes as well. Yeah. So the Vikings double down on defense, get an edge rusher in Keon White and Caillou Blue Kelly. Kind of love that, man. Battle, there goes Tippmann. Keanu Benton, who's a super stud. Going to damn it, man. Seattle and Detroit are absolutely destroying this draft, man. Killing it. The Eagles, gosh darn it. Kind of sucks. Michael Wilson in the third. Ooh. I'll raise an eyebrow. Darius Rush. Yeah, so Rush, I think, certainly helped himself. Toolsy, physical guy. The teammate of Cam Smith. Super intriguing there. So there you go. But Vikings doubling down on defense, getting Caillou Blue Kelly in the third after securing Keon White at 23. Again, if the Vikings are able to shore things up on the offensive line and potentially wide receiver and linebacker in free agency, I think that this could certainly be a route that you would go down. Now, you could nitpick, they should have taken this guy because he was on the board. But if the Vikings came away from 23 and 87 with Keon White, who has probably one of the more toolsy edge rushers in this class, and also Caillou Blue Kelly, a guy that's going to come in and start right away day one and is exactly the type of cornerback that Flores is looking for, sign me up. Sign me up, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at NFL.com, Chad Reuter's first 3-round mock draft. Vikings double down on defense. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.